name is Lebogang Dube, and I am a teacher. I'm a maths teacher, a mathematical literacy teacher, but I'm also a teenage life coach. So I have decided to start this podcast called Things I Wish I Knew. Why Things I Wish I Knew? Because when we are in high school, there's so many things that we wish we would have known at a later stage. So now, like, I'm 30-something. I'm 30-something now. And in me being 30-something, there's things I wish someone could have come and said, Lebo, don't do this. Do this, you know? This is mainly academic. However, we do put in some pointers here and there because we are human at the end of the day. I believe everyone has some sort of academic capability. You know, I talk about short courses, I talk about degrees, diplomas, so whatever it is. My aim is to call in professionals in their fields or people who've done really well in their fields to come and make life easier for all of us. And obviously with my TikTok just blowing up, mainly because of academics, I thought this was a great platform to just push it a little bit further. So my guest for today is someone I went to high school with that I rate up there. I want to say this girl. I'll call her this girl because she's my age, okay? So I went to high school with her and she has done tremendously well. She is now married, and I remember attending her wedding in Kempton Park, and it was just so beautiful, and she's done so well for herself. So I'm going to introduce her now. She is a medical doctor, and yes, I wanted to start with the medical doctor. It just made so much sense to me with everything that's happening in the medical industry at the moment. There's a lot going on, and I think people have a lot of questions to ask about the medical industry. We want to know, is it something still worthy to pursue, or are we, I don't believe it will ever be saturated personally, but I do believe that we should know a bit more. Dr. Madidimalo Trudie Tumele is a specialist, guys. She's a specialist family physician, and she's currently working as a clinical manager. I mean, okay. She's going to give a whole lot about her academic history, which is really great. So she's working as a clinical manager at Far East Rand Hospital. She's married and she's a mom to 3 beautiful children. I mean, and she studied her undergrad at Wits, here we are, and went back to the same institution for her postgraduate studies. And I kept asking her, you're still studying? Why are you still studying? Let us say hello to Trudie.
Hi, hello. Thank you for having me, Lebo. This is such a beautiful platform, and I'm really delighted to be here.
I'm actually very excited to have you. So I went to high school with Trudie, like I said, and we called each other Rumi for the longest time. Yes, because we thought we were going to go to varsity together. Yes, we thought we were going to go to varsity together. On top of going to varsity together, we thought we were going to be roommates.
Yeah, I know. We had wild dreams, but it's okay. We were young. We are excused.
What I really love about you is that you've always known what you wanted.
Absolutely.
Which I think was very important. So we were having a conversation before this and saying that so many people, including myself, never went for a test, a career test to say, listen, this is a career that you belong in. You didn't go to a career test. Can you just give us a bit of your academic history?
Okay, so I am, like you said, Madidimalo Tumele. I started my schooling career in primary school, like every other person. I went to Law School Van der Wijk Park, which is just in Kempton Park.
Okay.
And then I moved from there to Rhodesfield Technical High School.
Okay. Which is where we met.
And we were classmates, I think, from grade 9.
I also don't remember. I think it was
9.
If it's not grade 9, it was grade 10.
10, yes.
Okay.
And yeah, being in a technical high school, I think everyone imagines themselves some kind of engineer.
Exactly.
And people kept asking me, why a technical high school if you want to be a doctor? But
I was one of the people who asked.
Yeah.
I was one of the people who were like, you haven't done biology.
Yes. life sciences.
Yes, they call it life science. I was like, how are you even gonna make it without life science?
Yeah. So for me, it was not an inclusion to in a high school by choice. It was by circumstance.
Okay.
Because at the time you applied wherever you got space, and then you are stuck there.
Okay.
So I then did my research, which then said life sciences is not a must.
Thank you.
To become a doctor, because I wanted to become a doctor probably from when I was 4.
Yeah.
I'm lying, but I don't know, since I was young.
But you were always sure. You were always sure
about what I wanted to do.
I want to be this. You were like, I want to be a doctor.
I was a doctor from the time I could decide what I want to be.
Yeah.
So then I went to Rhodesfield, completed my matric, and then in 2009 I started my first year journey at Wits. And yes, Wits does give you the edge.
I went to Wits.
So yeah,
I know.
You do get that edge.
Yeah.
And I started medicine there, did my medicine in 6 years. And then I came out and I did my internship.
I came to your graduation.
You did.
I had
to have a graduation party.
I remember coming to your graduation.
If you know what that means.
No, I remember.
So
Wile police station.
Mamela.
Yes, if you come from the hood, you understand what that means. In order to cross the street, you need to go to the police station.
So yes. I had the whole thing. And then I went to Tembisa Hospital. Yes. And that's where I did my internship. I then moved to a Guleni Health District, and that's where I did ComServe. And I worked in the clinic in Davidton, rough community. Okay. And I think that's where my passion for family medicine started. I was not always a family physician. I was a gynae actually.
Oh, okay.
And after I did my family medicine year of ComServe, I realized that I think I belong here. Yeah, I don't actually want to be waking up at night to deliver babies. Okay. I think I actually want this thing of doing the family. But also, I also became a mom for the first time in that year. And that completely changed my perspective.
In the year where you started specializing?
In the year of my ComServe, my speciality.
Okay.
And I think being a mom also just sort of shake things around. Okay. And then that's where the next year I went straight from ComServe to specializing.
So if you are someone like me, who doesn't really know much about the medical industry, in order for me, like now you're speaking of ComServe. Yeah. I don't know what ComServe.
I know, community service, sorry.
What is ComServe? So I need to study for 6 years.
Yes. So you study undergrad qualification for 6 years. Okay. Post that you do 2 years of internship.
Okay, so and then that's now 8 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 years of internship.
That's an allocation basis.
Are you getting paid in these 2 years?
You are getting a huge salary that you make a lot of mistakes out of. But I think.
Is this where the BMWs are coming from?
I know. Because when you graduate, literally when you graduate, BMW and other brands are there. To be like, we can offer you this vehicle because they know that you're going to be able to afford
Are they offering you this vehicle at a lower price than everyone else?
No, you pay the same.
Oh, okay.
It is this.
I always thought BMW gave doctors discount.
No. Same rate.
I apologize. BMW, I apologize.
Same rate.
I was like, why can't you give teachers
also the same rate?
Hey, I was like, how? I teach the person that becomes the doctor.
I know.
So I must also get a discounted BMW.
No. But
thank you for clearing that.
2 years of internship.
Okay, that's 8 years.
And the 2 years of internship, it's an allocation by the Department of Health. You sort of give them, I want to be a doctor at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hospitals. And based on allocation, then they'll allocate you based on your choices most of the time. And then you have a year of community service. And unfortunately, in our country, you can't practice as a private or independent practitioner until you've done the 2 years of internship and the 1 year of community service.
Okay, so some people obviously were saying, why are doctors crying? You guys can just go open up your own whatever. You can go open up your own practice. So it's not possible to open immediately out of that 6 years and go open a practice.
No, you can't. Okay. But in the first 3 years, there is a compulsory obligation for the Department of Health to employ you. Okay. Because you do need to fulfill the 2 years of internship and then the community service year. But now we're sitting in a position where you have over 800 doctors who are currently unemployed.
Yes, I know that is what we're seeing right now.
Doctors who are post their community service. And at that point, you are allowed to start a private practice. But is it easy?
No,
If
it's
you
not
come,
easy.
If you
It's
come from
not
a
easy.
background where financial support is not there, it's not easy to start a practice.
Oh gosh, it's such difficult times, I think, for everyone at the moment. But we are here to focus on the positives, most definitely, most definitely, and to celebrate you as well. I'm so happy with how far you've come. Really, really happy. So we are going to do a young breakaway. So I call these breakaways, where I ask the professionals about things they wish they knew in high school, because but you must be the adult that you wish you had.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about Njolo. You know, people. I actually put a post on TikTok the other day, and I said, I don't understand why I want to Jola in high school. I said in matric particular, I said it's such a waste of time to start a relationship in matric. EIP,
Absolutely.
I mean, you can't remember half of the things that happened in matric anyway. So now, what are you doing with that relationship? But then, obviously, there was a lot of riff-raff. Things you wish you knew in high school about relationships.
Well, I think Lebu and I have a high school history where I was the focused girl, guys. I didn't do this relationship things. Of course, as a young girl transitioning in understanding who you are, there's a lot of hormonal transitions.
Yes,
there's a lot
going on.
Growth. There's a lot of changes that happen to your body. A lot of changes that happen to how you feel about yourself. Of course, you want to engage with that space. You want to engage with your sexuality. That's normal. Yeah. If you don't engage with your sexuality, we need to be extremely worried about that.
Okay.
So that's normal.
Said by the doctor. Said by the doctor.
That's normal. But for me, I don't even know if I missed out because I didn't really engage.
I don't think you missed out. I can tell you that for free. Maunga Jole High School, you're not missing out on anything.
But also, I think I was also that simple girl who maybe didn't get exposure. Tumjolo. And maybe that would have been a different thing. If I was a more exposed person. Maybe I would have made the decision to engage, and maybe engaging would have meant different things for me even. But to be honest, I didn't engage that much. I think, look, my husband is currently my boyfriend for life. So I think when I started engaging with serious relationships, being in a relationship was in a relationship preparing for marriage. I love that.
I love that. I mean, I love that so much because I wish I didn't know half of the things that I know now. Yeah. So I really love that.
But does the exposure do anything for you?
No, it doesn't. Yeah. It just damages your spirit and your mental health. That's all it does. So do you think your background has made it easy for you to be where you are? Did it make it easy for you to make the decision to be a doctor?
Look, I was raised by a nurse.
Yes.
So the hospital has always been an exposure for me. I would go and pick up my mom after work. I'd look at the doctors wearing their white coats. Back then, white coats were a thing.
And now, you were like, I want that.
Now we're wearing army greens and other things.
Okay. I think people have their own designs as well. Yeah.
Back then, doctors were wearing white coats. And I think that's where I fell in love with the idea of becoming a doctor. I was exposed through my mom being a nurse. I was exposed to the hospital setting. But also, I come from a very academic family. I come from a very academic family.
I think that also makes life easy.
It does.
I really think that makes life easy for you. Yeah. That's a conversation for another.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you coming from a background of academics, you coming from a background of people who are already in the medical space made it easy.
So academics becomes second nature. It's who you're gonna be.
I come from a family of teachers, and I think that's
why.
I
think it would have.
I always say somehow your background almost predetermines where you are going. I mean, you can take a short left.
Absolutely.
You can take a sharp curve, and
But I'm telling you now, most doctors actually
come from a family of.
To put my head on the block for this one. Most doctors who became doctors and wanted to become doctors all their lives, they come from or they were birthed, or there's someone with a medical background.
Okay.
Not even medical per se, it doesn't have to be a nurse.
Yes.
I know where I'm working now, there are people who are working in labor relations, or they're working in HR, or whatever the case, and their children became doctors. And I think it's because of their exposure to the hospital field That gives you
And it doesn't make it look impossible.
No, it doesn't.
Most definitely. So, I wanted to actually ask if you were the first in your family to be a doctor. No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
Okay, but in terms of how far you are in your education, how far are you in your education at the moment?
So I have a master's degree in
Yeah.
medicine. I master's in medicine, and then I wrote my college exams with College of Medicine in South Africa, and that's where I get my specialist qualification. Look, I don't know. My research supervisor seems to think that I can be a PhD candidate. I just want to be a mom for now.
Okay.
I just want to
And
be a
that's
mom for
something
now.
that we always need to remember as well.
Yes.
As much as we can have all these accomplishments,
Absolutely.
at the end of the day, we also want soft.
Yeah.
We want family.
Yes.
We want all of that.
Yes.
Okay. So let's break away a bit. Things you wish you knew in grade 11.
I
Grade
wish.
11.
I know.
Grade 11. This is for you.
I wish I knew that the university looks at my grade 11 marks for a spot in medicine. But also, a lot of people seem to think that just the academic part puts you in a university spot, or guarantees you a university spot. And that's an incorrect perception, because the university actually looks at whether or not you are well-rounded off. You are not just an academic student. You're not just a student because you are doing the academics. So sports.
Okay, extramurals are important.
activities,
Okay.
Debates, leadership structures,
Yes.
all of those things. When you apply,
Be involved.
Absolutely. When you apply for a university spot, it's like bringing in a CV for a job. We shortlist.
But in medicine, I'm sure you were, isn't it?
No, we shortlist you
Yeah.
based on when you apply for a job, for example. We don't know who you are.
We don't know what you're capable
We don't
of.
know what you're capable of.
Okay.
But what's on your piece of paper says to us, okay, this is someone interesting.
Yeah.
And then we call you in for an interview because we've seen the paper. We want to see the person behind the paper.
And you've done a lot of interviews.
Absolutely. In my current job, that's what I'm sure that's my major function, employing people. But the university uses the same structure. That application form. That's why they ask you about.
Are there
extramural
extramurals that you are doing?
They ask you about all of those things, and the more you list, the more of an interesting person you are.
So don't take for granted the extramurals that you're currently doing.
Absolutely.
Leadership. You know, sometimes Massa's school, we make fun of people who want to be in leadership. We make fun of people who want to be involved.
Absolutely.
We don't realize how important
How
it is.
important
afterwards.
it is. Yeah.
Perfect. I love
You're
that.
building a CV.
I love. And grade 11s, you need to realize how important it is to take grade 11 seriously.
It is.
Grade 11 is going to guys.
And we
I
think,
mean, I like to look like grade
and we
11.
think, no, next year I have time.
You don't
to
have
correct
time.
it. You
There's
don't
no
have the
time in
time.
matric.
Because also universities don't really consider what's happening in matric. I mean, for example, medicine, when I applied, the closing date was in June of our matric year.
Yeah.
So they don't know whether you're going to pass matric. So all of this is based on grade 11.
I things I want next year.
It's not going to work.
Things I focus on next year. It's not going to work, especially this one.
And people actually say the better you do in grade 11, it's while your outcome of grade 11 is a predetermining factor to what you're going to do in matric.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a different view to that
I
because
know.
grade 11 is hard.
It hard.
I feel like
It's
grade
hard.
11 is very. But
So if you can pass the hard one,
then you can pass
then you
matric.
can pass matric.
You can definitely pass matric. If you had the opportunity to do something different, would you have taken something different? If you had the opportunity to choose another career, would you take another career?
probably not.
Medicine
not.
all the way.
I'm a doctor.
Yeah, I love the conviction. I love how serious you are. I love how aujigi.
My job gives me satisfaction.
Oh.
And I go home and I'm like, okay, well done, girl.
It's a tired that's worth it.
Yeah. You've done so well. You've reached so many people who would have not been reached. I think that's why I'm so passionate about patient care.
Yeah.
And that's why family medicine, because you go beyond the human being in front of you.
Yeah.
You also go to the people, to the environment, to their families who are attached to the individual in front of you. And I think medicine gives me satisfaction. I'm content.
I feel the same
content.
way about teaching.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. And so if you go onto my TikTok, there's a lot of going on about short courses. Okay, so you want to listen to this one.
Yeah.
Short courses There are people who they get to a certain point. Like for instance, now Trudie, I've done my masters. I don't want to do a PhD, but I want to do short courses. Are there short courses in medicine that people who are already in medicine and they like, are there short courses that people can do to?
Girl, we need a day. To list all the short courses we have in medicine, we're gonna need a whole day.
It. So there are short courses in medicine.
There is so much, and there's so much to being a doctor. You don't actually have to be a doctor who concentrates on patient care. You can literally go pharmaceutical. You can go.
You can be a doctor and go pharmaceutical.
Yes. You can be a doctor and represent pharmaceutical companies.
I love that.
You can be a doctor and go, I don't know, corporate. You can be a doctor and be a doctor on the patient.
Options.
So there's so many options.
Okay.
You can do postgraduate diplomas.
Okay.
You can do certificates. You can do courses like advanced trauma life, advanced
this is music
cardiac,
to my ears. Yeah.
peds. So there's so much. It's a minefield. It's a minefield.
Thank you for not being stingy with information. People are so stingy with information. I don't know why that happens. It's as though if you share information with other people, it depreciates your value.
It doesn't.
It does not.
Yeah.
So please share information. Okay. And then, is there any funding that we should be aware of in your field? Someone is out there and they want to study medicine, and they just like funding.
Yeah. So funding is scarce.
Okay, so we must know that first.
Yeah,
okay.
scarce, but it's not non-existent.
Okay.
So one is the Department of Health.
Okay,
so
Department of Health.
Gauteng. Back then, they were only giving us a 75% bursary, and you still had to raise the 25%. Which
And that's
is not,
this.
which
You
is
know
not-
how
which is
expensive
not
this
great.
is. Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
not great. But other departments like Department of Health, Limpopo, you have to be from Limpopo to benefit from that. They give you full bursaries. So bursaries is mostly Department of Health. Then there's NSFAS, which is
It says it.
our go-to
NSFAS,
guy.
does it fund medicine?
It does.
But NSFAS, does it fund all of medicine or does it fund part of medicine?
As far as I know, all 6 years. They fund your course.
Don't they have a 4-year rule or something?
But how can they have a 4-year rule
Okay.
if my degree is 6 years, guys? That's like mustn't come with stories. But yes,
Okay.
but with general rules will apply.
Okay, so
if
we
you fail, they
love that.
won't continue sponsoring.
Love it.
So you can apply for NSFAS. It's completely available to medical students as well. It doesn't exclude them.
NSFAS funds education.
Yeah.
Not education. They fund medicine.
Yeah.
So everything for me is education.
Yeah, I know.
Have you always wanted to study at BITS? Or were there other universities and then you were rejected? Maybe Medusa.
No, I actually.
And then Medusa was like, no. And then you're like, I think I will live it.
I applied to UP and I applied to WITS. I tried to apply to Cape Town, but then I thought I'm gonna live alone in Cape Town.
Okay.
It's not gonna work
Okay.
out. Home is too far. I love people who study for. I don't know how you do it. It's a.
What do you mean how you do it? I also studied. Let me, I'm close.
I don't know how people who study
Okay,
far do
yeah,
it, because
yeah.
you do need the comfort of.
I'm not
I'm not coping. I want to go home.
Yeah.
I need to sort of. But yeah, as I applied at WITS, I applied at UP. I could accept it at both. I resonated more with WITS than I did with UP.
Trudie, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing all this information. People are very stingy, and I want to use this platform to share with young people as much as we can, to say, listen, these are all these questions that I'm being asked in my inbox that I don't know how to answer.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know anything about medicine.
I know.
Come, let's call in a doctor. Let's answer all of these questions.
Yes.
You have done brilliantly for yourself.
Thank you.
I rate you. Listen, I went to high school.
I feel like you overrate me though.
I went to high school with this girl. And I think that she is just brilliant. I don't know where you get the time from to do all the things that you do. She's also she's a giver. And I really love that about you. You didn't get up there and then close all these channels for other people, which is so amazing. May God bless you.
Thank you so much.
As going forward in all that you want to. I know you still want to do more, because every time I'm with you, you're like, Liv, why are you not studying further? Why are you not taking it there? Why are you not? So I know you definitely want to study further, and
definitely.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
You
know, I'm just like a receiver.
So
Here I am.
lots of love. and I'm so happy that you came through and shared all of this with us.
Thank you for having me, guys. Please study medicine.
Yes.
But I think medicine, if there's one thing I want to tell you, if you're going in for the money, it's not there. Go for it for the passion. You're not going to become a millionaire.
Okay.
Okay. And I think in another setting we can talk about the business side of medicine.
Okay. Which is very important. But obviously, if you're still in high school, you still need to have the basis of
get there. Become the doctor. But yeah.
Okay. Closing off. Anything you want to share in terms of what you wish you had known in high school that would have made life easier for you?
I wish I had known that I'm not determined by where I come from.
Nice.
Because it limited my expression and my expressions of what I want to achieve. If I knew that where I come from, which is Tembisa for me, does not determine how far I can elevate, I think I would have gone much further. Because for me, it was always medicine, but I thought I wanted to study in Cambridge. But why didn't I go to Cambridge?
Yeah.
Because Cambridge was a far-fetched idea for someone from Tembisa. But I wish I knew that where I come from doesn't limit where I can go.
And that's all from us. Medicine is something you can definitely go into, but your grade 11 results are super important. No playing in grade 11 if you want to be a doctor. Those results are very, very important. Just one last question. People who upgrade, are they allowed into medical school?
Yeah.
So you can upgrade and still be allowed into medical school?
Yeah.
Okay, because I heard some rumors that you're not allowed.
No. The university doesn't look at whether you've upgraded or not, but
Okay.
you obviously won't go from matric straight. You'll have to take that year of upgrading.
Yes.
And then in that year you apply. Then you have the exam. We have a pre-exam that you write in medicine.
Okay.
So in your grade 11 or grade 12 year, depending on when the university schedules it for, you write a pre-exam, and that's also part of your application process.
You heard it from the doctor herself. So proud of you, and all the best.
Thank you so much.
That is all from us. Thank you so much for coming all the way and watching it all the way through. I hope that this was very, very helpful for you. I am coming in with the big guns, and they are going to be informing you on everything that you need to know to make your life easy.